How can this show be so bad, Mr. McMahon? I know you're still writing this crap. I know you ain't retired. I know you ain't fishing, because this is the same lousy show.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Vic Vito. Wow. How is it, my man? Nice. Yeah.
Bro, listen, Sportskeeda Nation. Look at me. Look at Uncle Vince. Let me get centered so Raju doesn't get mad at me. Sportskeeda Nation. I am here for one reason and one reason only: to smarten you up. Do not be like these dirt sheet writers and marks who actually believe. And here's why they believe it, Chris. They want to believe it. They want to believe Triple H is in charge of the creative. They want to believe it. Mm-hmm. Guys, I'm here to educate you. He is not in charge of creative. Everything is going through Vince McMahon, wherever he's hiding out, whether it's Stanford or Boca Raton. This is the same exact show. We'll go through it. There are a couple of subtle differences, and I will explain to you why. But please do not get caught up in the Triple H is writing this show. It's such a better show now, because, bro, quite frankly, you will look like a moron, because the same guy is writing this show. Nothing has changed. Bro, there were three things to this show that were different. I'll tell you what they were, Chris, off the bat, and then we can go through it segment by segment if you like. Okay? They righted two horrible wrongs. And those two horrible wrongs, Chris, which we've been saying all along, is Edge is a heel and Becky Lynch is a heel. Okay, bro, which was ridiculous from day one. So they made those corrections, okay? The other positive thing they did was they gave you a little something at the end with Edge accidentally spearing Dominic. But the fact of the matter is, bro, they really can't go anywhere with that, because I would think, Chris, sometime between tonight and next Monday, that Ray and Dominic are going to see the videotape and they're going to watch the show back and know that. So they really can't go anywhere with it, but they tried. They tried to give you something a little different at the end. They tried to give you a little bit of a thread with the Bayley story and her group attacking everybody. Mm-hmm. But again, bro, this was all wrestling. And bro, I think I was reading something earlier today, Chris. I think they cut back on some commercial breaks. All that meant was that
the first hour was
the first hour. There was all that meant was that the matches were longer. Yeah. There's nothing different about this show. And guys, listen, if I really believed, Chris, that Triple H was in charge creatively, I would say he's not going to change this show overnight. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a while, bro. It took us like at least 3 months in WCW to get where we wanted to go. And then, of course, they pull the rug out from under me. That's what I would be saying. Give them 3 months. But, guys, I'm telling you, everything is being filtered through Vince McMahon. Everything. Yeah. Don't get caught up on this is a different show simply because you want it to be, Chris.
That's a good assessment. We'll get into it. There was a couple of positives I saw. There's a couple of tweaks that I saw that was definitely different than what I saw every week, and I'll talk about those as we get to segment by segment. Cool. But speaking of segment, ladies and gentlemen, this was a wonderful, wonderful, interesting, action-packed weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, we had SummerSlam. We had Ric Flair's last match, big man, and 73 years old. He had to bleed, of course, of course, he had to bleed. Comes out with his sleeveless purple shirt on. He was just totally gassed by the end of this. By the end of the match, he could barely put in the figure four on Jarrett. He couldn't even, technically, there's room for another match because both Jarrett and Flair had their shoulders on the mat, and the referee was counting for Jarrett. Or Flair, he couldn't even lift up. He couldn't even lift his shoulders off the mat. So I don't even know what the the pin was, and the pin was for.
I got to
So
tell
yeah,
you,
what do you think about this, Vince? As
well,
far as
Chris, going in, I got to be honest with you. Going in, I did not think this was going to be the last match. And I got to be honest with you, man. If it's not, that's really unfortunate. Just the fact that Taker came out for this and Brett came out for this and Mick came out for this. It's like, bro, if this isn't the last match, and I have to be honest with you, bro, going in, I did not feel like this was the last match. I mean, bro, I'm pretty sure they sold it out. They had a great crowd there. They sold 5,000 tickets. In their minds, again, bro, we saw the angle leading up to this with them attacking Flair and everything. In their minds, why couldn't they create another angle and just do it one more time? Bro, at the end of the day, it's a payday. You got to understand the mentality, guys, and the psychology with wrestlers. At the end of the day, it's a payday. That's what it is.
Yeah, but is the payday worth seeing what we saw? Like as far as just what Ric Flair looked like at the end, even during, it wasn't even at the end. He was just staggering in the beginning. He just wasn't in it, man. And it's just it seemed like it seemed like he was nervous. And I was looked at the TMZ interview. He was talking about how he always feels he always has to get liquored up basically before matches and things like that. And he said he doesn't do well without drinking, and it definitely felt like that. And it's just, I don't know, man. I just wasn't a big fan of what I saw. And it doesn't take away that Ric Flair is the greatest of all time as far as in-ring work. This match doesn't trump that. But at the same time, people, I'm saying this from as a psychology doctor, people suffer from recency bias. And a lot of times people who don't realize how amazing Ric Flair is in the ring, they see this match and they're like, like this is what Ric Flair was, and they don't look at this stuff from the 80s or the 70s or the 90s.
Chris, it's funny, and you and I, bro, like literally, we could do a whole show on just the psychological aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I am telling you, Chris, because I've been in it. There literally are people in the business that would die for the business. Yeah. And not only would they die for the business, Chris, they would take great honor in dying for the business. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Quite frankly, I think those people are imbeciles. And I'm not, I think, and I'm not calling Ric Flair an imbecile, but the thinking, I think it would be an honor for Ric Flair to die in a wrestling ring. And listen, I don't just want to pick on Ric Flair, bro. I am now looking at Triple H and Bruce Pritchard, who both had very, 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 very serious heart issues. Pritchard had 2 heart attacks. Listening to Hunter's own words, it was between life and death. Mm-hmm. And those guys are in the most stressful situations right now they could possibly be in. And I'm sitting here in beautiful Colorado, sitting in the basement of my home in my office here, and I'm looking at them rationally, Chris, and I'm like, are you nuts? First of all, both of them have enough money 10 times over to live the rest of their life. It's not a money thing. Take money out of the equation. They're both loaded. They've been doing this for a very long time. But when you have a heart condition,
Yep.
and you are putting yourself smack in the middle of the fire, bro, I'm sorry, Chris, you've got a death wish. That's the last place you should be.
Yeah.
You've got a death wish, bro.
That's true. That's true. That is Dr. Chris approved. That's a Dr. Chris approved statement right there. Just just from a professional standpoint, you're right, man. Because that stress can absolutely lead and exacerbate heart conditions, and stress actually heightens blood pressure. So it's that the level of stress and having to deal with a 3-hour show and having to book it and having to see if it goes, and being head of creative and Pritchard being, over talent and things like that. All those things are just grueling positions that it definitely doesn't make someone more calmer. It makes
Bro,
someone much more
travel,
intense. Yep,
travel,
travel. Yep,
sleeping in a hotel room, not eating right.
yep,
We can go on. Bro, listen, my dad is 91 years old. And I could tell you without a shadow of a doubt, my dad looks 100 times better than Vince McMahon. That's what that is, bro. That's what you're
Oh, yeah.
seeing.
Yeah,
That is
definitely.
what you're
Yeah.
seeing, guys. And man, I think of Hunter. I think him and Stephanie have 3 girls. I think I know Bruce has a beautiful family, and I'm like, what are you people doing? What are you doing? Ric Flair at his age could pass along so much knowledge, and what are we doing here? What are we doing, guys?
Yeah, that's true. WWE brought him back as a manager during the pandemic, and it was just really odd. I mean, he was
Yeah,
with
that was
Orton.
that was that
Yeah,
was bad creative.
he was
Very
with Orton, and then he got punted, and just it was
And
really
then he
odd.
did something with the girls too, right?
Yeah,
Which was
yeah,
very kabuki-ish. And
yeah. Just really weird, man. Just
yeah.
really weird. So we'll see. We'll see with this Flair. Is it back? Is it really the last match for the Nature Boy? I surely hope so. Please, please, Flair. Listen, Ric Flair, you are the greatest wrestler of all time. You are it. You are the creme de la creme when it comes to in-ring work, when it comes to characters, when it comes to popularity in pro wrestling. Please do not allow us to see what we saw on Sunday more than what we saw on Sunday, because Sunday enough was brutal. So, but thank you for your story career, and man, don't let us see that again, please. So before we get to the segment by segment, your thoughts on Roman Reigns defeating Brock
I think
Lesnar?
that's great. I think that's
I
great,
agree.
bro. I think that's great. I think bro, this was always my philosophy in wrestling. You don't take a belt off of somebody until somebody comes along that you believe could beat them.
Yep.
That's when you take the belt off of them. I mean, I don't care how long it is. That's when you take the belt off of them. I just wonder, bro, and I know you've spoken about this a couple of times, Chris, but with the next challenge being in Wales, in the hometown, I'm telling you, bro, he shouldn't win. He shouldn't lose that one either. He
Really?
shouldn't lose that one either. I am so that is not going to make Drew McIntyre, bro. That is not going to make Drew McIntyre by beating Reigns, because of what they've already done with Drew McIntyre, which is not Drew McIntyre's fault.
True.
If up until this point Drew McIntyre was undefeated, that's a different story, bro. But we've seen Drew McIntyre lose plenty of matches. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. That would be my advice.
I hear you, man, but I'm sticking with Drew winning in Cardiff, because I just think, I don't mind Reigns having the belt for over 700 days, because to me that is it, that is something that is unprecedented in this generation, without a doubt. I mean, Hogan back in the 80s did it. He had it for 4 years. I think it was from 84 to 88, if I'm not mistaken. And so, like, that's the last time someone had a lengthy reign, Brock Lesnar had the Universal Championship for 503 days or something like that. So about a year and a half. But like when you think of like long reigns, having it for 700 days, that to me, I love it. I love everything
I do
about that.
too. I agree with you. I
Yeah,
do
because
too.
the thing is with all this 50-50, with all these hot shot reigns, with hot shot title reigns, with reigns not really title reigns not really building people or just going from person to person so much nowadays, to have this old school lengthy reign
I agree.
really uh put someone to the next level.
I
And
agree.
there's been so long that no one has had that feel of that they're bigger than the business. And I like everything. I appreciate everything about Roman Reigns. I think that the WWE, I think, we bang on WWE for so long for so many things, but to me, they got it right with Roman Reigns because I think that they're doing a really, really good job
Yeah.
making him feel bigger
The
than
only
the
thing they
business.
have wrong, bro, here's what they've got wrong, and this is on the Vince, the puppet master from Boca. Um, they were so good back in the day with Bruno to Backlund to Hogan.
Hogan, yeah.
They were so good about, not only did those guys have long reigns, but they were so good about building every single opponent
Yep.
where you thought every month, this is it.
Yep.
Stud's going to beat him.
Yep.
Bundy's going to beat him. Steele's going to beat him. They were so good with that, bro. I remember it so vividly. You had to watch the match because, bro, this is the night Bruno's going to drop it, man. There's no way Bruno can beat, Koloff or whoever it was. Oh my God, have they lost that, bro?
See, here's the thing, Vince. What's the common thread of what the people that you just said?
They were built. They were built.
They were built and they were all baby faces.
Yes.
So
yes.
the heels were
Well,
strong enough.
the heels were built. The heels were
yes,
absolutely
exactly.
both the heels and the baby faces were built.
Yeah.
Right.
So all three of those people that you said were baby faces. Bruno, Backlund, Hogan.
Yep.
All three of them were baby faces. And they had heels, Billy Graham, Sheik, you know what I mean? Like Andre, of course,
Yep.
Especially with Hogan. I mean, he had Andre, he had Earthquake, he had Bundy, he had the the list of people, DiBiase, Savage. And so he had the list of people, same thing with Bruno, that and Backlund, that could make them continue to look better and bigger and better and bigger. And then the bigger they look, the more people got scared that they'll be dethroned by that menacing baby. I mean, that heel that seems like this may be the one. And with this booking that we see with Roman, it doesn't really have that feel because the
Nobody's in his
heels
league. Nobody's in his league.
in the same league. Exactly.
Nobody's
That's
in his
exactly
league.
right.
Chris, Theory's in his league?
No.
Come on, man. Nobody's in his league. And, bro, not only that, but back in the day, they made you feel like the heels going in were the favorites. Like Don Morocco's going to beat Bob Backlund. But Don Morocco should beat Bob Backlund. Who should beat Roman Reigns today, bro? Like, literally name one person that should beat him.
See, the only reason why I say, and I agree with you as far as Drew. Drew's my, he's Drew and Lashley are my two favorite baby faces right now in the WWE that I think they should do something with. The only reason why I say Drew, and the reason I say Drew is that because it's a feel good moment. We haven't had feel good, I'm a sucker for feel good moments if it means something, if it will transcend generations, and I think that, like I said before, it's been 30 years that you've actually had footage from the UK of that feel good moment when Bulldog beat Brett. And so if Drew beats Roman, you'll have that feel good UK stadium moment. But I agree with you, though. I'm not, even with Triple H at the helm, I'm not confident enough that dethroning Reigns will cause Drew to have that big, because he is getting momentum on SmackDown, but
Well,
it's
you know,
just not in Ren's league, though.
yeah,
I
and
agree.
Chris, I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched SmackDown in a long time, but I saw Drew's entire run on Raw, and they booked him horribly.
Yeah.
That's not Drew's fault. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Drew isn't worthy. Drew's got the look. Drew's got the personality. He's got it all. They booked him horribly, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's getting more momentum on SmackDown. It was really bad on Raw. It was a stretch. It just didn't feel right. He was actually getting split cheer.
Is
I
he
mean,
still
split
doing the
cheers and boos
sword
a lot.
gimmick on
He
SmackDown?
still brings the sword
Yeah,
gimmick,
so
and
we
I'm
gotta
just
lose. We gotta lose
yeah.
that stuff, bro. We
I
gotta lose
agree.
that.
I
Come on.
agree, man. I'm not a fan of it. It just feels too gimmicky. It feels too carny to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not a big fan of that. I think Drew doesn't need a sword. I think just that menacing, bad apple type of feel that we saw from Drew right before like when he eliminated Brock Lesnar from the Royal
Yeah.
Rumble.
Yes.
That was the best Drew that
Yes.
we saw in the WWE,
1,000%.
hands down. Yeah,
1,000%.
yeah,
And if they would have continued to go down that path, they
yeah.
would have had a monster today.
I tell you what the breaking point was, the pivotal moment was when he lost to Roman at Survivor Series cleanly. Because in 20, I believe it was, because they did the pandemic, he won the title, and they have this weird, stupid, awkward bragging rights 2.0 type of feel when it comes to Survivor Series when they do the inner brands, like just the champions of the brands fight against each other. There's no stakes, there's no
Yeah.
build, there's no story, and nothing means nothing. The
Yeah.
way that they build Survivor Series nowadays for the past few years is absolutely atrocious, and it does nothing to help anybody. And I think when they did the whole Drew Roman thing, and then Roman just beats and chokes Drew out, to me, that was the beginning of the end of his momentum. I mean, it just went downhill from there. They tried to build him back up with Goldberg. They tried to build him back up,
Yep.
but it just
That's how
didn't
I
do it,
feel.
man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
but
exactly how
yeah.
I feel. Yep.
Well, let's get to Raw. We start off with Becky Lynch cutting her babyface promo, and Bianca Belair comes out. The two embrace, and
Bro,
then
we got to point out though, Chris, I love this because again, bro, we listen, somebody's watching this show. Either somebody's watching this show or they think the same way I did, because when she comes out, she cuts the promo and she says, I remembered who the hell I am. And then she said, it's not about the fancy clothes. Remember,
yeah,
how many weeks did we
yep,
sit here and say, what do we, what, how did this happen?
yep,
Now she is coming clean, basically saying, what was I doing? I was the man. I got over because I got my nose busted all over
yep,
my face. And
yep,
then I started, I mean, she's saying
yep.
that in this promo.
I was
So,
thinking about that too.
yeah, bro. So between this and Edge, I think this was a way to repair two very clear as day wrongs
Mhm.
in Vince's absence, and almost make it look like, oh yeah, bro, he's really not in control anymore.
Yeah,
No, bro, both of these characters were failing
yes,
miserably.
indeed.
They had no choice but to do this, and
Yeah,
I give him credit for doing it, Chris.
yeah, yeah. I was like, you know what? They must be watching the Legion of Raw, ladies and gentlemen, because we talk about that quite a bit when it comes to Becky Lynch's attire. So
Yep.
very interesting. Awesome sauce with the $2 super chat, bro.
Here's another thing I want to say, bro. And again, here's a same problem. Okay. So Bianca Belair comes out. There's the big hug.
Mhm.
Here comes Bayley and her crew. Chris, I don't watch SmackDown. I don't know who the crew is. I've never seen these two women in my life. They don't look like much. But again, we've seen this a million times before where we're supposed to assume the audience knows who these two people are, and they don't.
Yeah, and I didn't like this. Awesome Sauce thinks Ric Flair needs a nap. Let's not no sell his.
I think I need it.
Let's not
What
no
about me,
sell his.
Awesome Sauce? I'll take a nap, bro. I'll take a nap for
I
me
didn't
and
know.
Ric Flair, bro.
Yeah,
And
I've had.
Chris, yes.
Amen. I've had a 15-hour day, 14 and a half hour day so far. I've got about another hour. So marathon day for me, man. So I need a nap for sure, man.
Yeah, I hear
Straight
that,
through.
bro.
So
Yes.
yeah, so I agree with you, Awesome Sauce. Not only Rick needs a nap, but Vince and yours truly needs a nap as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, man. So with this Lynch and Becky thing, it definitely seems like Becky's taking the back burner, and then they further do the whole injury deal. But I agree with you though. I think that I know that Triple H wants to bring you know type of showcase to Io Shirai or Io Sky now and Dakota Kai, but again, I say this all the time. A third of WWE fans watch NXT. So you need to build who they are because 2/3 don't know who they are.
And Chris, on top of that, again, whether it's Vince or Triple H, I don't care. This is not the right time to do it. How long has Bayley been out? How long, bro?
About a year and a half.
You've got to reestablish Bayley first, because you bringing these two women I don't know and Bayley in at the same time, bro. You got to put the spotlight back on Bayley. You've got to rebuild Bayley. You've got to establish Bayley, and then you bring it to do it off the bat. Yeah. You're watering down Bayley, bro. Bro, would have been the equivalent of back in the day, Trish Stratus being hurt and being out for a year and a half, and they returned Trish Stratus with two other women. Mm-hmm. No, bro, that's not how you write this, bro. That's a mistake, bro. Yeah. That is a mistake.
Yeah, and I think it's just important to develop who they are. I mean, Io's fantastic in the ring. I'm a big fan of Io Shirai's in-ring work. Dakota Kai is cool. I think Dakota, for what I heard, she didn't want to renew her contract, so she got let go. She was in NXT for years, and even Raquel Gonzalez, or Raquel Rodriguez is her name now. She came in, was protecting. She came in as a protector, and she was with Kai for a while, and then she got called up, and Kai still stayed. And she was still kind of, in the weeds of the new NXT brand. It was just kind of, and so it makes sense of why Kai was like, look, I want out of this contract if you're not going to put me to the main roster. Yeah. And so it definitely seems like a Triple H move here, bringing those two up. Io, there was rumors that she didn't want to, renew her contract either because there wasn't really a promised main roster call up. So I get it, but at the same time, you can't just throw them on a show and say, okay, well, here you go. Like, why is there a faction? Why do we need to know about Io Shirai? Why was it Io Shirai? Why was it Dakota Kai? Out of all the females in NXT, why are these the two people that want to align with Bayley? And why they want to align
and
with
on
Bayley?
top,
we need to know all of those nuances.
And Chris, on top of that, you have other women on the roster that aren't even over yet. Can we get them over? True. Can we get Doudrop over? Bro, Rhea Ripley is not over. So we have women on the show who aren't over. And so what are we going to do? We're going to bring more women in.
Bring more.
That's what I'm talking about, Chris. This is all wrong. There's no focus. This is Tony Khan bringing in a new wrestler every week. You got to focus on who are going to be the players on this show. You got to focus, man.
Yeah. Give us the why behind the what, man. I always say that. What's the why
Right.
behind the what? What is the why behind the what here? Why do I care that it's just that there's two females backing Bayley? Why do I care? Why are you just attacking anyone now? Like why do I care about this stuff? And don't leave me just scratching my head at the end of these segments because there's nothing that really led to this, So I'm not a fan of it. And then AJ Styles defeats Mustafa Ali and The Miz. I mean, I enjoyed the match. I mean, for what the match was worth, the spot at the end with Mustafa doing the 450 and then gets caught in with AJ. And that's one of the things that I did like about this Raw. I did like the fact that AJ felt bigger than he has been, over the past few months. And so I'll definitely tip my hat for AJ feeling bigger tonight.
But also, Chris, I do want to add, bro. Listen, man. You can't have a crowd going absolutely nuts, and then when you get crowd shots, there's no emotion. I mean, come on, guys. Like they had people going nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the crowd and they're not especially guys, you don't believe me, go back and look at the last segment. Go back and look at the last segment. People have been sitting there for 3 hours. They got a tag team match that doesn't mean anything. Bro, you would have thought this was Hogan versus Andre. And then when you actually look at the crowd, bro, they're not responding.
Yeah. The crowd was flat, and for that to be Houston, it was kind of surprising to me. The crowd was flat a lot of. I mean, probably because it's just I've been to plenty of 3-hour Raws. It's just an absolute drag. I mean, like it's just the crowd, like the fact that you're not giving us riveting storylines throughout the show. You're not giving us different segments that are very intriguing. One thing I did notice today, though, is that there was no 24/7 segment. I wonder if Triple H is making that a thing. Like, no, there's
that'd be great. And
me
also,
at the helm.
No, there's been no Elias for a couple of weeks.
I think Ezekiel came out last week or either
was he?
last
Yeah, because
week or
last week I didn't see the. Was it last week? I didn't see. No, I was here for last Monday's show.
Yeah, you didn't come.
He didn't. He was not. He was not on last week's show.
No, he didn't come last week.
Yes, I wonder what's going on there.
Did he lose against Seth Rollins a couple of weeks ago? Yeah, he lost to Seth Rollins.
I think that was the last time we saw him.
Yeah, on the 18th, he lost to Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
he didn't come. He didn't.
What a horrible drop storyline that was with the brother and
So he was on main event. He lost to Omos, is what the chat's saying. So, yeah. Just definitely a drop storyline. And again, it's like you wait all this time to bring Elias back for this, just for this to to basically dry out.
Same with Dewdrop. Remember we hadn't seen her in ages.
Yep, brought her back. She's dressed in black now.
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Like what is she doing?
Oh, there's your cue. Alexa Bliss, give me better Raws, please. Alexa, is it Alexa? You're right, Alexa. That's the Echo. That's the machine's name, right? Alexa.
Yes.
Okay. Tell Alexa to bring to bring Vic Venom back for some better Raw booking. So, So Kevin Owens wasn't there either. I wonder if
I think he's hurt or something. I don't know, bro. I don't know. But bro, that's the thing. Bro, I cannot tell you how many times I worked with hurt wrestlers and it didn't matter. There's a million things they could do, but not wrestle.
Exactly.
They don't disappear. You keep them active. You keep them alive. Like they don't just go away and then reappear.
Yep. I agree. Where was Veer at? No Veer. I think that's a drop.
Guy there you just said, what's his name? MVP's guy there.
Omos.
Where's Omos?
I think he was on main event. I think he beats Ezekiel, but he wasn't on Raw. I wonder if Triple H is looking at looking at certain Vince guys, and he's like, nah. Because I mean, you could tell that this had a lot of Triple H influence because like Ciampa goes from being a Miz minion to being number one contender for the U.S. Championship. So that had Triple H rubbed all over it. But what do you think ultimately about Ciampa being in this type of uh, uh, position where he's beating winning two
I
tournament
don't
or
know
two
nothing
matches?
about him, Chris. I don't know anything about him. I don't know nothing about the guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think they need to do a better job with forming that up. I really do. So people are saying there's no this guy, but hold on, let me make a call real quick. You there? Are you there? Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Yes.
Toots! Yes!
Yeah, toots. Toots, 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 toots.
Toots.
Toots, thank you for your appearance, Toots. We appreciate you coming out, man. So there's been somebody else that's been in my. I wonder if he's going to show up, man. He's
I'm
people
hoping.
were talking about. I literally got messages last week throughout social media, man. Like, man, there was
Don't say nothing like if he thinks like we're ignoring him and we're not talking about him, then he might show
then
up.
he might show up.
But
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kayfabe,
yeah,
kayfabe.
yeah.
I do want to say, bro, I did give him a credit. I wrote a little note here. They were attempting to thread the Becky and Bayley and her crew. They were attempting to somehow thread this throughout the show.
Yeah.
You never see that. You never see that.
Yeah, yeah. I do like the threading. I do like the stakes. I do like the fact that there were stakes. I'm a big fan of stakes when it comes to shows. There's not a lot of stakes, like because they'll just do random contenders matches and things like that, and just thrust people into title matches without them having to earn it. So I did like that. I like the fact that they were getting Montez Ford some shine tonight. I don't like the fact that they had him lose. I'm like, why don't you
I agree.
I mean, what would it hurt if Seth Rollins lost a match against Montez Ford tonight? That would have a much bigger feel and a much bigger impact on tonight than just Seth Rollins beating Montez Ford.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, bro. I mean, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think they, and again, if this is a Triple H thing, do you think the fact that he put Montez in that spot was like, okay, this is kind of your opportunity to shine?
Well, bro, if that is the reason, and we see the two new girls coming out with Bayley, bro, they're booking for the fans they already have.
Yes.
Because, bro, the fans, the hardcores and the marks are gonna go nuts. Bro, as soon as I saw Rollins and Montez Ford, I'm like, okay, bro, this is 15 minutes, and the marks are gonna go crazy over this, and the casual fans are not gonna give a crap.
Mhm.
So yes, I agree with you, Chris. But again, when you're going after that mass audience, that's for all the wrong reasons, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't. I mean, because this is eventually building up. This is making Seth look good to lose to Riddle eventually. It seems like that's where they're going with it.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's up with the street? Like, if this is the Triple H era, it would seem like he would have the Street Profits at least like get out of this slump. Like they lost against the Usos 3 times this year, I think it was. And then Montez loses the match. They do 50-50 with the Usos throughout the weeks. How is this building up the Street Profits?
Chris, listen. Bring up Toots for a second. I need some
All right, Toots, where
inspiration.
you
Let me just say him.
Toots, you there?
Give me Toots. Okay, get him out of there. All right, Chris, I got to explain something to our Sportskeeda Nation.
See you, Toots.
See you,
Gotta
Toots.
say bye to him, man.
Bye, Toots. I love you, Toots. Chris, I got to explain something. Chris, I wrote this show.
You did.
That people are watching. Okay. Chris, it was a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Ross, as head of talent relations, was a full-time job. You cannot be writing this show when you're wearing 10 other hats. This is a full, bro, it is bad enough that as a writer, you've got to write 2 shows a week. That's bad enough. But to also have 5 other jobs, bro, you're never going to get the full capacity of what this show could be when your duties are split 10 different ways.
Yep.
There is no way in hell, bro.
Yep.
And that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
So if you think all of a sudden we're going to see this dramatic change, you're not, bro. You're not.
Yeah. I agree. I definitely, I'm willing. Roman wasn't built overnight. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. But this is a full-time job.
It is.
This is a full-time job, bro. This ain't a part-time job.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm hoping that, with Triple H at the helm, if he does have that, that stroke that he does, and when it comes to creative, I really hope that they're basically flushing out, all the tar, and having a nice stream, having a nice flow going, within between now and the end of the year. I'm cool with that. I mean, that's 3 to 4 months, give us some time. And I would, Triple H would be all right with me if he gets rid of the stupid inter-brand champions theme when it comes to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
See, I think what would be ideal for me, what I think would be cool for me, I heard that they were talking about bringing 2 other people. Before Io Shirai and Dakota Kai, they were thinking about Kaylee Ray. She's from NXT too. She came actually from NXT UK, and Raquel Gonzalez to be in Belly Stable. Now, I like Raquel as a face, but I wouldn't be opposed to that, and they have 5, because what I would be interested in is that there's some talks that Sasha and Naomi agreed, to come back. So I think, a Survivor Series style, format that's 3 months from now, about 3.5 months from now. I think what you do is, eventually bring back Sasha and Naomi, and you have that, that big type of feel, that big pop that comes from that. Have the 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match, and there you go. I think that's what you do as far as bringing that feel good moment back. So it would be interesting to see what they do with that. Next we have Bliss and Asuka being attacked by the Bayley buddies. Again, I mean, it's no rhyme or reason. We're not here because it's not about Bianca. It's not about Becky. You'll see what it's about. They attack the 2, and Houston was flat in this match, man. Why do you think they were flat in Asuka versus Alexa? Because both of them aren't really being built very well.
Yeah, I mean, there's no steam behind either one of these 2, bro.
Yeah,
you know, nothing.
Yeah. What do you think the rhyme or reason was for them to attack these 2?
Just to get out of the match.
Just
so you wouldn't have to beat either one of them.
Yeah. They end up coming back at the Belair and Sky. We'll get to that. Ciampa defeats Ziggler and Gable. Then we get an Edge in-ring promo. I thought this was so funny. It's like for months he just totally just roasted the crowd and talked about how terrible they are. And then all of a sudden he was like,
so you can't do that, bro.
I'm your BFFs again. I'm back.
Now we both get what we want. Bro,
yeah.
You can't do that, bro. You've got to somehow, bro, again, I'm going to go back to the writing. if you're going to bring him back as a babyface, you got to somehow, some way figure out how to connect the dots. I can't hate you last week and love you this week because anybody home with a brain is going to be, well, what are you cutting promos on my hometown? Bro, you can't do that, bro. It's embarrassing.
Business as usual. Back to the Rated R Superstar.
Yeah,
he's pro fans because the Judgment Day beat him up.
Yeah,
and he got kicked out. So now he's pro fans. Like what? Again, connect the dots. Why do you like the fans all of a sudden just because Judgment Day kicked you out of their group? How does that change your perspective?
Why did you not like them to begin with?
Yeah, exactly. What made you not like them to begin with, and now why do you like them again because you got kicked out? So yeah, it just got to connect the dots, make it make sense.
Got to, man. You got to.
Bianca Belair, Io Sky leads to another jump. So they jumped during the Bliss and Asuka, and then they came back again with interference between the Bayley buddies again. Lots of them shown tonight on this show. What do you think?
Bro, I don't listen, man. To me, when it's gang warfare, that gang needs to be NWO. It needs to be like a group of people that can kill you.
Yeah.
That's who it needs to be. Bro, these girls are tiny. Like they're like, who they gonna beat up? Like I'm sorry, bro, but when it's a group and a faction, they need to kill people.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when the Riot Squad would do that a lot, and it was Liv,
same
Sarah
thing.
Logan, and Riot. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just like
bro.
These rebels are coming out, and they're just trying to make a name, and they're just going to start attacking everybody. And just the Riot Squad didn't have a long shelf life, and I don't see how the Bayley Squad is either. So
I agree.
Ciampa defeats AJ Styles, and yeah, I mean, he's the number one contender for the
I
UFC.
just don't like, bro. Like, again, I talk about this a million times. How is Miz allowed out there to just screw around with AJ? I mean, come on, bro. You got to give the referees some authority, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, and bro, that just all comes in being creative.
Yeah.
You got to be creative, bro, because what referee is going to allow this guy out there for it to be a handicap match?
Especially if it's old school, man. Triple H is old school. He should know you need your manager's license, man.
Yes.
I remember that should be a thing, man. No, you're not going out there. Oh, yes, I am. I've got my manager's license.
Give me something, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Usos defeats the Mysterios. Long match, but I mean, just this basically was what closed the show as far as the match. I was like, okay, if this is the beginning of the Triple H regime when it comes to creative, main eventing Raw with the Mysterios versus the Usos and the Usos winning yet another match. I mean, yeah, I get how they try to create a cliffhanger at the end, and I think it's okay, but you haven't really built them enough for me to really care, to be honest.
Chris, they got to get back to marrying that first segment with the last segment. That's where you're real, bro. If this were me and I'm Triple H, I'm starting this show with
before you say anything, before you go into that, I think it's time for Joey, man. Yeah.
Time out, Joey. Time out, Joey.
Oh, we haven't seen him in a while.
Man,
bro, here's the simplest thing they could do. If this is really, honestly, truly Triple H, this is the simplest, most fundamental thing they need to begin with. Same story, beginning, middle, and end. Start there, bro. How are we opening this? What's the main event that ties in? What's happening right in the middle of the show to up the stock? Then once we've got those three blocks in place, now how are we going to chain this and weave this throughout the show. Start there, bro. They got to get back to segment 1 being paid off at the end of the show. They've got to get back to that formula, bro.
Yep. Got to tie those loose ends. Got to make it make sense throughout and weave it throughout the show. Yep. I agree.
Yep.
Well, Vince, talking about weaving throughout the show, we talked about how you have just amazing, just pythons in the beginning, and we're gonna do it at the end as well.
Well, hold on before we get to that.
Okay.
We talked about Flair coming back for one more.
Yes, indeed.
Is there anyone out there that could drag him out? I'm just asking, bro. I'm just throwing it out there. Is there anyone out there that could bring Flair back for one more? Oh, no. This is what I was afraid of.
Of course there is. As a matter of fact, you might not remember, but behind and underneath this hood, underneath the mask, it was indeed Ric Flair. So ladies and gentlemen, if Ric Flair comes back in one more match, it's going to be as the Black Scorpion.
Wow, bro, they got it here first. That's an exclusive, bro. Wow.
That's why he's been gone for a few weeks.
Bro, you know what was very telling to me? Did you watch the Flair gimmick in its entirety?
I watched the roast. I watched all the pay-per-view.
I got to ask you a question, bro.
Yeah.
I did not read anywhere that David was present. Was he?
Not that I know of. I know
That's
Charlotte was backstage.
That's interesting to me. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what was interesting to me? That Steamboat wasn't a part of it at all. Like, they did a bunch of like just cameo, shout outs. Sting did one, Cody did one, Ziggler did one, JR did one. I'm sure I'm missing some people. I think Cottle, Bob Cottle was there too.
Who's that?
Bob Cottle, the announcer for NWA back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was there was a lot of people there that was pretty cool, but no Steamboat, man. One of his greatest rivals of all time, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Did Sting have a cameo?
Yeah, a cameo.
Yeah.
Yep. Rollin with the $9.99 super chat, bro. I'm not a fan of linking an old face with two new faces. Bayley with these two girls.
That's a great point. Rollin knows what he's talking about.
He does.
He knows. You're dead on, bro. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, bro.
Yep. Edge and Bayley are too seasoned and established to now start brand new.
Bro, let me tell Rollin a little story. And bro, Road Dogg will back this up. When DX was hot and it was Shawn, China, and Triple H, Vince wanted to marry the New Age Outlaws with them. Do you know what Shawn Triple H said?
What's that?
You ain't marrying anybody over with us. Let's see them get over first. They've got to get over if you want to put them with us.
Yep.
So, Rollin, you are dead on 1,000%. And Road Dogg will back me up on the show. They had to get themselves over first before they became a part of DX.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Great point.
Indeed, Rollin makes the good points, man. He does that. Speaking of making good points, let them know about the brand, my man.
Yes, channelattitude.com. And also, I want to plug this week patreon.com/Russo TWC, because Disco is coming back home to the roost. Disco has not been with us since January. He's making a comeback. Patreon.com/Russo TWC.
Nice. Disco fever. Very nice. Yeah. He did you work with Disco when you were in WCW?
Oh yeah.
What was he doing that time? Was he like the
I know he had
NWO wannabe?
he had his disco duck.
Was it the Disco Duck era?
Yeah, it was the disco duck era. Yes.
Oh man, because he's done a lot, man. I remember he didn't want to put Jacqueline over, and they had some issues with that, and then he came back and put Jacqueline over. And then he wanted to be in the NWO, and then he ended up being with the Boogie Nights with Alex Wright. Did you have anything to do with that, or was that a little bit before your time? Yes.
Yeah, baby, come on. Yes. Yes.
I'm popped for that. That was great.
That's a little taste of disco, bro.
Play that one more time.
He's so cocky. He's so
So
rude.
cool.
He's just a
Disco dancing fool.
Oh, do you want to hear something funny, Chris? Listen to this for a second. Glenn swears that Jimmy Hart is singing this.
No.
Yeah,
way.
right. Yeah, he swears this is Jimmy Hart.
No way. That is not Jimmy Hart.
Great theme songs back then.
Yes. I'm a sucker for good theme songs.
I am too, man. I am too. Yeah.
That was great, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here is Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. Man, we had appearances by Toots, Joey, and the Black Scorpions tonight.
And
man.
Disco Inferno theme song.
And disco theme song, man.
It was loaded, bro.
Yes, all-star show. See, we had SummerSlam, we had Ric Flair's best match, and we had the Legion of Raw All-Stars tonight.
Yes.
Man. I think that's from SummerSlam and Flair's last match.
Love
if
it.
you want to be honest, but maybe I'm just being biased.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Solo.